They say that Thinah Zungu's show or recent episode featured some things that kind of clearly show what I was saying in previous reviews, that this show is clearly meant to compromise the position of a Christian. It's meant to make us look, yes, people make mistakes and whatnot, but your show does not have to be about that. Your show does not have to depict, but anyways. So, Thinah Zungu's latest episode featured a phone call between him and a supposed, I say supposed because that's what you're going to see, is that why did they choose to televise this? And then they come out making a statement that they did, then they delete it, and you only have to find it elsewhere. So it's like, and so there's no Christian representation whatsoever. If you were thinking this was it, it's the reality show with daily Christian commentary videos. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're like, oh, Ricky, what are you talking about? So on the recent episode of Thinah Zungu's show, there was another phone call. And I don't think this is the phone call. There was another phone call that kind of had Thinah Zungu on a phone call with a lady who was said to be, I don't know, is it a side chick or who was it? I don't know. They were knowing each other, according to the way it was broadcast. Now, when you go to find out who is this lady, we once spoke about this particular narrative. Remember, Thinah is a pastor. Ne? Thinah is a pastor of a church. I did once review one of particular message that he preached, and I was like, terrible biblical background. It produces very weak theological positions. So if you don't know what I mean, is that if you go down to Lulu Menziwa's Instagram page, it contains an apology. Okay, it contains an apology from the crew that shoots this entire thing, or that shot and broadcast the Thinah Zungu show on Mzansi Magic. And so this is kind of an apology from them on how they edited that entire thing. So you now know who was said. According to the show, they said that Lulu Menziwa was the one who was on the other line of the show. Now, if you don't remember Lulu Menziwa, she's the lady, they call her sexy mistress, if you remember. Yeah, that's her. Now, she recently had a child with a different man, and so she was not very pleased when they were broadcasting that, what they said. I have to say what they said was a phone call between her and Thinah. So they rendered this apology here. Okay? Dear Lulu Menziwa, okay? They say, we hope this message finds you well. We would like to extend a sincere apology for any misunderstanding that occurred during the previous episode of Thinah Zungu. It was never our intention to cause any harm or distress. The mention of your name, okay, was not intended to imply any wrongdoing. Okay, so this is what it goes on to say. It says, we understand how this could have been misinterpreted and led to an unnecessary confusion. As a production, we strive to remain entertaining while being respectful. So, okay, let's just read further. Eh? So I'm guessing that her name was mentioned, and they implied that the phone call was between Thinah and Thingy. Okay, so she was not very happy with that. And so, as a production with Thrive Taratata, we deeply regret that that this situation may have caused discomfort, and please ensure that we will take necessary steps to to receive this episode. Okay. So I'm guessing that the episode. This is why the episode you can't see it anywhere. I'm guessing that's why probably you can't see it anyway. We are committed to moving forward with mutual respect. Now, so they said something that misrepresented this lady, and so with the whole thing of I'm guessing they were saying that the breakup was not properly done. So I don't know if they were trying to imply it as if there was supposed to be kind of like a proper separation. Bear in mind, by this time, this lady is committed. She has her own man. Thinah himself is married, and so what? Anyways, now they were that level concerned about a person being misrepresented. Maybe it would be better if we could hold the same value for misrepresenting God in your show. But anyways, this is where for me some other portions of concerns actually come. As young people, we thrive to kind of go the extra mile in our careers and actually find ourselves or find a position for ourselves in society, as you may actually put it. And we tell ourselves, when we end up in a position of power and authority, we will represent God throughout everything that we obtain. For example, Thinah Zungu and his wife, they say they are pastors. You might be influential, and then that they became pastors because they are public figures, because that's how things happen, right? That they appointed him as thing. So the people rise. They spend all their life rising on the ladder and trying to get as high as possible and telling themselves, "Will represent God." But then when you do get the chance to, on your show, God is challenged by Sangoma powers. On your show, on a platform, okay? I saw this other a trailer of this show here called Bromance, something like that. There was a consultation. I don't know, it's about friends or I didn't watch the show. I just saw the trailer of it. And even on that show, there is consultation of Sangomas. If you go to other shows that are on the platform, this is the show on the polygamy, this particular show. And here they are at the sea praying in the name of Jesus. They speak about their faith and having faith and the whole nine quarters, but they were praying at the sea. That's why you have to pray at the sea. Why the sea? The sea, we know that's where Sangomas go and do their thing. And not that there's anything wrong praying at the sea, but anything. But for this show, that there clearly is such a high value viewpoint for traditional practice, and when the show portrays some type of faith, because they're praying and all those kind of things, it's the same show that has unbiblical practices. The same show that contains the other belief thingy, and now they're praying in Jesus' name. I'm not saying they don't pray. I'm just saying there's a lot of mixture that happens on this. Now, we finally get a show that claims itself. We don't claim that. That's what you guys claim. the show that they would like to say, this is for Christians. And that show depicts such a poor quality of a Christian's life. Why are we talking to side chicks? Why? Why is that a thing? Why? You see, that should not have even been, like, why did that interest you to be a storyline that you wanted to follow? Huh? Oh, by the way, I actually forgot the other half of that statement that they actually put there. If you actually scroll forward, there is another portion which shows the productions thing. They say Lulu Menziwa has joined the group chat to clarify that she was not the one who made the phone call. So, who was on the phone call? So the person who was talking to the person on the other side of the line didn't know who was on the phone call? Just got a random call of someone claiming, okay, that she was not the one on the phone call. Following the recent episode of Thina Zungu, a female called who was mistakenly identified and to ensure that the whereabouts and this particular production would like to confirm that Menziwa was not the person behind the call. Sincerely apologize for the confusion and the harm. We understand how this could have been misinterpreted. Misinterpreted, or that's how you intended for us to see it? I don't know. Misinterpreted, or is that how it was meant for us to? What are you trying to depict? You know, if you are a person who's told yourself that you want to portray Christ in your life, and you're trying as far to rise as high as possible, what do you think you're going to do if you can't portray him clear here, where you are, where you stand now? Why do you think you'll be able to represent him when you're up there? It's a delusion. It's a delusion that people sell themselves, that if they are a sellout here, that they won't be a sellout up there. The Christian life is about commitment towards truth, even if it's contrary to you. And if you keep dipping and jiving like the world, you become a bad representation. The channel has all kinds of shows. And then the one time they claim they have a reality show, shows for Sangomas, what, and all those things. Yeah, that's South Africa. It's a rainbow nation, all kinds of beliefs, right? But then the one time you claim to have a show, that's Christian. The one time that they said Thinah and his wife are part of the production team. You have creative control, right? Yes, they might say, spice it up. So now why was this part of a good storyline? This particular thing here. Okay? Well, I'm not yet debating whether the person on the phone was or was not. I have no business with that. I was nowhere there. No, but why was that even part of a storyline that you were interested in pursuing on the show? People are very confusing. It's reality show with daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time over here, to be sure, check out some other videos that are down in the pinned comments. Like I said on the previous episode when I said, the devil is setting Thinah up to show Christianity as weak and compromised. He just doesn't see it. He's either completely blinded to the truth, that he doesn't see it, that like your debut in a television thingy as an actor was a sex scene. The script literally reads as you trying to say, no, there's God in other places. They intentionally write you a script like that. Then they give you a reality show where you are so compromised. 4 or 5 episodes, I've never seen you read a Bible. Never. I've seen everything. I've seen people challenging God. We've seen people doing what? 5 episodes. I've never seen you maybe doing a sermon preparation. Something. You're pursuing all kinds of storylines. Debate your friend and what. And try to convince your friend to be friends with the Sangoma. You're pursuing everything except what you could have been. We don't need another Sangoma on another show. There is already enough of that. But, okay, what can we say? People have the delusions that they will properly represent God when they reach the pinnacle. When they get up there, that's when they will represent. You will not do it. If you can't do it now, here where you are, when your friends are being antichrist as possible, if you can't do it there, forget when you get up there. Don't lie to yourself. It's a delusion you are selling yourself that you will represent if you can't do it where you stand now. This is why, Thinah, they can't represent Christ at that top, as high as they are. Why? It's never true to it. We're not saying they're not Christians. No, you are too compromised to try and say you are a public figure of what a Christian should be. Too compromised. You've never walked it. We're not saying you don't go to church. No, you're asking the wrong question. You probably do. But you see, you have no devotion to it. By devotion, you see what the difference between when Jesus says, if you love me, you do my commandments. That's a disciple's path. It means this person follows through with what they say they believe. Probably fine going to church, give an offering, make an association to a certain church, and say you're a mamrut. Thinah, just about the same. He's okay saying he's a Christian, but he doesn't care what his message, whether his message is compromised or what. You are a compromise. You're not a Christian leader. You are a compromised image of what a Christian is. That's it. You were always that. That's why when you are at the height of your success, you still can't portray it. Why? You don't represent it. This is why you need storylines like this. Who needs a storyline like this? It's sad.